Hey guys, Sean from Livingseeds. We're inside one of our seedling production tunnels. Today I want to tell you about the Livingseeds PlugMaster. When you receive your PlugMaster, you will receive detailed instructions on how to use the PlugMaster as well as how to make the planting mix. You will receive your PlugMaster without the divot makers installed and a packet with 4 nuts and 4 bolts. It's very simple to install the divot makers. Take the bolts, screw them in by hand, flip the units over and install the nuts. You'll see that the divot makers are loose. This is quite important as it helps to break the seal once you've made your block. Your biggest problem when dealing with seedlings is transplant shock. Transplant shock is initiated when you rip the seedling out of the seedling tray and you destroy all of the fine root hairs on the outside of the root board. These planting blocks are fantastic. They work on a principle called air pruning, and what that means is that a plant will not extend its roots out into the air. So what happens is when you take your seed, you plant your seed into the divot. When that seed grows into a little seedling, it'll extend its roots throughout this block, but it will not put its roots out into the air. It'll rather turn them back into the block. Seedlings that are grown confined of a seedling tray often have roots that are root bound, like this example over here. Seedlings that have been grown in soil blocks made by the PlugMaster, as you can see, don't have any roots extending on the outside. So it's a very simple matter of just making a hole where you want to plant them. Pick up your planting block and plant your seedling directly into the soil. There's zero transplant shock and the seedling doesn't look at you for the next 10 days wondering why you ripped it out of its home. A good germination mix is one of the most important parts of using your Livingseeds PlugMaster. This is our own proprietary germination mix that we make on Livingseeds Farm. We also give you a very similar recipe on your PlugMaster instruction sheet. To make your Livingseeds planting blocks, you'd need a couple of things. First of all, you'd need a PlugMaster, you'd need a large enough container to hold your germination mix, and some kind of flat surface to put your planting blocks onto. Your germination mix needs to be relatively moist, and what we found is that if you allow it to stand for a few minutes and just a little bit of water pools on the surface, that is perfect. It mustn't be a slurry, it still needs to have some kind of consistency like this. If there's too much water in your PlugMaster mix, very simply take some extra germination mix, add it in until your consistency is correct again. And this just looks awesome. When you're ready to make your planting plugs, take your PlugMaster and using the bottom handle, squish it down into your germination mix. Just clean off the sides. Put it onto your flat surface. Now using the top handle over here, you apply pressure, and as you apply pressure you'll see that there's some water that's been squeezed out. What you're doing with this pressure now is you're actually forming your block under pressure. You should apply pressure for about between 5 and 10 seconds, and you'll learn very quickly what the right amount of pressure is and for how long. But when you're ready, you just lift this bottom handle up while pushing down, and what happens is you have 4 planting blocks. We advise that what you do is you separate the planting blocks so that they can dry faster, and you just keep going until you have as many planting blocks as you need. Your planting blocks can be handled almost immediately, but you still need to be gentle with them. So you can transfer them onto a flat surface where you're going to be germinating your seedlings. Another option is to just make your planting blocks exactly where your seedlings are going to grow. So you don't need to handle the planting blocks at all. The beauty of using the Livingseeds PlugMaster to make your planting blocks is that you no longer need to use polluting polystyrene plastics. You also don't need to sterilize the seedling trays every single time you want to plant your seedlings. One of the most common questions that we get is that if you water these planting blocks, don't they fall apart? Well, no they don't, and I'm going to show you exactly that right now. We recommend that you use one of these Gardena watering roses. It probably has the finest spray that you can get on a rose, and all you need to do is once a day is just run your hose pipe over the blocks